If you wanna be my friend,
Ooh, I like your tone
you
right
would
now.
better go and get
I'll
a
leave
pen.
you right there.
Maybe we can keep in touch like we did in the old days. It wasn't so long ago. Oh, and I wish you well. Oh,
you going to
church? Sign your pen, pal.
When you hit that first big note, I always think of that song you loved like 3 or 4 years ago.
In the sun.
How'd you know?
Sun, my mind, she settled.
How'd you know?
It's there. It's there. It's
You loved that
there.
song. You were like kicking, walking.
They have
to it.
another good one that I'd play if we wouldn't get sued, but we have been sued.
We can do whatever we want in the
Anyone
potch.
who's listened to all of these, any Powlers and
say?
Pennies who've
Patronies.
who've listened to enough, Patronies for sure. All the times Daniel said, "Careful, we're gonna get sued." People think that's a bit. We've been sued 45 times.
Very
because people
litigious
found out
people
about it.
out
And it was as we got more and more popular. So I want to
We've
be
been
very
sued
clear.
by Shanley twice.
Shanley thought he had an argument, and he learned the hard way. You don't fuck with us.
Right.
Hashtag don't fuck with us. Ironic that he has to keep that. But I want to say we got sued 45 times, and it's only because as we got more popular as a show, did these music executives and labels realize we were doing that. So I want to be very clear. When we say grow the show, which is something we fully want you to do.
I would appreciate it.
And if you love this show, it's something we expect you to do. When I see something I love, I tell everybody. I talk about it all the time.
Ooh,
Don't tell music executives.
No,
please.
we don't need that sort of
We
heat.
don't need that.
We don't need that heat.
That's.
Do you know what's great about growing the show? How many times have you had somebody after a show be like, I wanted to say hi, I just didn't really know what I'd say. Or in your own life, you've been to like, go fucking tell Dwayne Wade you're a big fan.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what I'd say. If you grow the show, you have a built-in thing to say. Hey, I grew the shoe.
Yeah.
And then we go, seriously? And they're like, yeah, I told my so-and-so. Done.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself a naked woman to pass out on the Vegas Strip.
Oh.
Like your own.
Nice. Not that that's not the sound at all, but that's what it is. What and I'm only gonna go at this because I feel like I kind of clocked something there. Do you feel like you wouldn't know what to say to Dwayne Wade?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was somebody else. It was this girl.
Now you're double downing. You're doubling down.
I would say something to Dwayne Wade.
What would it be?
Hey man, big fan.
Oh. All right.
What would you say?
You gotta mix it up. Say something that's gonna catch his attention.
Where's Gabrielle?
No, I go, Dwayne Wade. And he turns and looks at me, and I go, the heat is on.
No, H is O, baby. Let's see if he knows. The H is O, baby.
H is O. And then he and
remember
I,
that sketch from Saturday Night Live?
we just facing each other doing it.
Dude, do you remember the H is O
Heat is on.
from SNL?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's one of the weirdest fucking sketches they ever did. McKay directed it.
Yeah.
And it's all about the H is O.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to make you watch it someday.
All right. I'm willing.
Just so you know, so everybody fucking knows. Oh,
Here
another
we go.
story
Here's a
Daniel
confession.
didn't tell.
Here's a confession.
Me and my coworker Jessica in Chicago when I worked at Pizza Hut. Well, for Pizza Hut. It was actually for a company that ran the website for Pizza Hut. We were across the
start
street
over?
at no.
Because no one knows. So, okay, just to catch up, you're on a date with Jessica at Pizza Hut.
We're at lunch.
Got it.
The lunch buffet at Pizza Hut.
Remember?
Big Reds.
KFC used to have the lunch buffet too.
I know. Remember
or the buffet.
What about the Wendy's baked potato buffet and salad bar?
I don't remember that. Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was back when Wendy's was yellow.
That's right. They were yellow.
I know.
Go on.
We're at Subway. Dwayne Wade walks in. Jessica loses her mind. She's like, oh my God, this fucking Dwayne Wade. Huge Dwayne Wade fan.
Yeah.
And I go, tell him you're a big fan. She's like, no, I can't. I don't even know what I would say.
Yeah.
I go, I think the big fan part.
Yeah, he'd love it.
And then she goes, I don't want to bother him. I go, he's not sitting at a table. He's not on the phone. They already yelled welcome to Subway when he walked in. You can yell hey man, big fan on your way out.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to. And I said, here's the deal. You do whatever you want to do. But this can either be the time that you saw Dwayne Wade or the time you met Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
You just this is where you pick.
Yeah.
So this can be the time that you try to like wave at us as you walk out of the club, or you go, hey, I grew the shoe. We're like, thank you, love you for that.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, done.
Yeah.
Just trying to give everybody a chance.
And she said no.
She didn't do it. And what happened when we got back to
Imagine
the office?
that much money. I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but that much money and you're still rocking Subway. Come
Sometimes,
on, Dwayne.
right? Sometimes,
Come on.
though. Sometimes.
What time was it?
Lunchtime. So it had to be between
Dwayne.
noon and 2.
Where?
Right off of Franklin in Chicago. Like
Dwayne.
near the merchandise mart.
Could you imagine? You're also in like a
River North-ish.
literal food capital. Like it's not the food capital, but
Right.
is a food capital
Yes.
of the world.
Yes.
It's one
definitely
of
on the map.
It's on the map of
Right.
I would say the top 10.
Ooh, I like that.
I would give it that.
I love it.
And Dwayne Wade's going to Subway.
Well, he's born and raised Chicago, so it's not like he hasn't.
I changed what I'd say to him.
What would you say?
Hey!
Subway, dude.
Hey, Dwayne, Quiznos.
You'd go Quiz? I'd go Jersey Mike's.
Whoa.
Hey!
Whoa. Hey, do you remember when it was only you and I here and that never happened?
Never once.
Never.
Never even.
Once.
Never even. Ding.
I don't think we've ever had that in our entirety of being participants in this show. And yet here comes Lissa. Just to be very clear, I know that if any of you audiophiles out there, you were like, that sounds like where Chad sits. Wrong. Because Chad's not there right now.
Right. And
Lissa's
Lissa's like,
there.
I got this.
Lissa's there.
Right.
And I assume that
Right.
she had it on the setting of my phone might be on the other side of an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and I definitely need to be able to hear it because that volume.
You answer phones on your computer?
I swear to God, I set my computer to do not disturb like 25 minutes ago in preparation for this, and it still went off. I'm so sorry.
Uh-huh. What do you even want to do with that excuse?
I only know her through you, Daniel.
Ouchie.
I don't think I know her. I don't think I know her at all.
And you know what? We're both learning neither of us have ever known her.
Oh, man. The sweat on her back right now.
Oh, I've got back sweat going myself. And I'm overdressed.
Let's go.
Let's take a second to just remember what Lissa did to this.
That was
episode.
wild. I thought somebody had won a fucking contest.
I did too. I thought it was us. I thought that was Dwayne Wade being like,
He's
Quiznos.
Yeah, no, that's another lawsuit.
Quiznos.
It's another lawsuit.
Let's go to the letters. Me or you?
Let's do me.
I can't reach it.
You don't need to, player.
Let me throw it up.
Something's going to come out.
All right.
You want to throw it up? Something happened for the listener.
I'm not gonna lie.
You do no, do lie, do lie.
I appreciate that effort.
I really.
But when it split into two, I could see you're
You
like,
knew.
I
Yeah.
went to this one too late, and then I can't switch.
Yeah, I can't get back.
I can't get back.
Okay,
Let's dance.
here we go. First off,
How many different letters are in this
This
letter?
was mailed in. This was a person. I'm going to give them their shout out first. Capraco at Capra CAPRA _CO. They do like stickers and stuff. They sent us a whole bunch of cool stickers.
Oh,
Yeah. They say, I don't know. We'll decide if we want to read that. But I gave them a plug. They want you to come do a show in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
That's how I commit. That's how I've booked everything.
Hey, pen pals. Hey.
Hey.
First, I wanted to praise Rory on his very not recent rant about teacher appreciation. This is from quite a while ago. Or is it? I don't know what order you listen in.
Well,
you might not even have had it happen yet in your life.
To blow people's minds on
You might
when is
roulette
what,
this show.
the way that we say when is what,
Yeah.
just to give you a little peek behind the curtain,
Yeah.
today is February 4th, 2019. Just to give you
Yeah. So
sort of
everybody's
a
on the same
glimpse,
page.
just so you get a
Right.
glimpse into, like, the when is what. We
Right.
live by that.
100%.
So,
Isn't everything wonderful? I mean,
I don't know when this will
politics and
air,
stuff,
but it's 2019
but-
or whatever.
We'll sit on this
just
for a
said.
while till we need it.
Yeah.
First, I wouldn't even know Lissa. First, I wanted to praise Rory on his very not recent rant about teacher appreciation. I've been binge listening to the episodes in order so forgive me for bringing up old episodes, but as an educator, I always want to say Miller Time, and they don't sponsor us.
Continue.
Just for the listener, that's all Foley work by Rory.
Some of the best.
I've been binge listening to the episodes in order, so forgive me for bringing up old episodes, but as an educator myself, listening to that hashtag RRM, recent Rory rant? No, recent. What would that be?
RRM. Maybe is there any clue?
Rory's very not recent rant. Rory rant?
RRM?
Yeah.
Ooh, my belly.
Had a little belly turn. It brought happy tears to my eyes.
My belly liked the water gift I just gave it.
Thank you for making me and others, I'm sure, feel validated and supported.
Nice.
After graduating with my childhood education degree, I began nannying for a family with 2 kids. This started in 2019. Oh, like super recently.
Oh my God,
yeah,
that's
like within
crazy.
the last 6 weeks.
That's crazy.
5 weeks. I began nannying for a family with 2 kids. This started.
COVID hasn't even happened yet.
What's COVID? 2019.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what even is it?
I have no idea.
If it is anything,
Like, is that a video rental place?
I think it's
Like a co-op for video stores?
It's one of those indoor skydiving places.
Oh, I'm into those.
Yeah, so we should get it.
100%.
Yeah, spread it. Tell the word. Spread the word.
Okay, awesome.
COVID.
What do you think of Biden? Okay. All right. After that's appropriate. That's timeless.
Yeah.
After graduating with my childhood education degree, I began nannying for a family with 2 kids. This started in 2019. Excuse me, I don't know what happened there. This started in 2019, and over the summer, the family had another baby. I learned very quickly that babies are not my thing, and I was struggling hard. Since the other 2 kids are now old enough for school, I basically was being a stay-at-home mom to an infant, which is not a role I'm used to playing. I'm 28 for context. After months of trying to keep my head above water, I fell asleep on their couch one day when the baby was napping. To my horror, I woke up to the mom asking me what the hell I was doing. She fired me on the spot, and I still laughed to myself thinking about the whole thing. It felt so surreal, humiliating, and relieving at the same time. What is your best getting fired story? I think that's all I have here. What is your best getting fired story? Feels like weird that they didn't sign off. Don't you think?
Oh, they didn't?
You know what?
Let me see it.
No, this is a continuation of it. I'm glad I didn't read this. Now it makes sense. Since being let go, I decided to put 100% of my time and energy into the small creative business I started in 2020. I'd be forever grateful if Yins could throw me a small business shout out. I only have 4 states left to complete my USA sales map. Utah, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Oklahoma.
Guys, if you're there, get on it.
Love you both. Thanks for all the laughs. Your pal, Sancheri. Hashtag grow the show. Hashtag grow Capraco. They put a period at the end of that.
Love it.
The Insta is at Capra-co. And then it says, Rory, come to a show in Buffalo, or better yet, come to the local infamous beach bar, Mickey Rats, in Angola on Lake New York. That'd be cool. Enjoy some stickers. And yes, that's a TIG sticker. Okay.
Love it.
You been fired?
I must have been.
I thought about this too. I definitely know one time I was fired. Actually, I was fired twice.
Yeah.
I got fired from the movie theater.
Why?
That I worked at in high school. I don't remember
How
all
long
the
did you work
details.
there?
A year.
And this is God, my tummy
I know,
rumbles.
you're a little tummy boy.
And so, I mean, that sucks because there's only one screen in Rochelle,
There was 3.
and that's it.
There used to be 1.
All in
and
this
then they
one
chopped
building.
it into 3. Yes.
I bet you Rochelle had a pretty badass summertime drive-in theater.
No, there's one in Dixon though, and
I
a
was
lot of people
gonna
would go to
say
that.
Dixon.
It's close over there.
I was gonna say
Near Dixon, kind of like by White Pines.
White Pines.
You'd love White Pines.
Of course I would.
Yeah, dude, I was a projectionist. I would do the whole
Oh my
fucking
God.
reel and all the stuff.
You were Fight Club?
I learned how to do it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
I
I've
love
since
that.
forgotten, but
Well, how? Now
add
give me
that
some
to
ages
weird
here.
jobs I've had. I was in high school, so I was 17, 18 years old.
Oh man. Okay, so you're there for how many months, years?
A year.
Okay, so and you get fired.
Yes.
Why? For good reason?
Nope.
What happened?
This is one of those times you have moments you learn things in life. Like some people are bad, or like things just don't go your way. It literally was just a very early that's life type thing. So I'm working there. There's this guy named Mike. He lives in Lombard, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah.
he was a bit of a problematic character. And I worked at the movie theater, and he had hired this other girl who seemed so much older than me, but looking back might have been 20 to 22.
Yeah.
And I still to this day do not know why. She made up that I did something, like made up that I don't even remember what it was, but it was like stole candy or like was giving away free popcorn or something that just, all I remember is what he told me he was firing me for did not happen.
Yeah.
Like didn't, and it was my first introduction to a person who, some people, their currency is chaos. Their currency is conflict. That's 100% who this person was. I'd never met anybody like that.
Yeah.
She had just made up that I did like a fireable thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if he had a crush on her or he just liked having a young, cute girl around more than I have no idea. But I remember looking at him and going, I'm just telling you, man, that never happened.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got to let you go. We just can't have that here. And I was like, but it never happened.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, today's your last day. You've been a good guy. I don't know why that happened, but, she's telling me it did. You're telling me it didn't. And I was like, yeah, but it didn't. And it's one of those just first times in your life where, like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This person has decided this, and somebody else has influenced them or whatever the reason, and I got fired. And it just fucked my head so much.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, but I didn't do.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
I know what you mean. There's no justice.
Right.
And you can't.
And I don't even know why she made it up. I think it was like a weird flex. Like
Yeah.
she just wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe she was like, oh, I want my friend to have a job. So if I can get this guy fired, I can get my friend a job.
Yeah.
Which, based on how easily he believed her and sided with her, that person probably did get that job.
Yeah,
the theater has since gone away.
Good.
And now it's a distillery.
What was his name?
Which Mike.
Mike what?
I don't remember, which is odd for me.
We got to find out.
I wonder if I could find out. I mean, I'm sure I could.
I not
There's gotta
only
be
want
records.
to find out, I want to ask him, do you really think Daniel did that? Like this far later.
Do you think
Wouldn't you get
he
some,
won't even
would
remember?
you
That'd
get
be
some
amazing
closure?
if he did.
What if he was just like, I don't know, dude, I don't give a shit.
He was one of those guys that had like,
How old are you at the time? 17? How old is he?
man,
20, 25?
how old is anybody? Like,
Well, I'm 42.
but I mean, when you're 18,
39.
what was your gauge for 40 when you were 18?
I thought they were grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a grandpa.
If you said you have to guess his age, I would say 28.
Yeah.
But I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I liked the job, and he obviously trusted me up to teach me how to like run the reel, like run the film through the thing, and yeah, I just remember what he said never happened.
Yeah.
And
Wait, what was she accusing you of again?
It was like stealing something, or like it might even been something like leaving the lights on when I closed. Like it was something that I was like, what? Like I couldn't believe I was getting fired for it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe he just already had decided that obviously happened, and I did that, and this person who said that, and I couldn't understand why she made up that I did it.
I love it. I mean,
it was such a head fuck, but it was also a very like, this is life.
That's Rochelle right there, dude.
It's cutthroat, man.
That's Rochelle.
Dude, she's fucking cutthroat.
Yeah.
I got fired from the Chicago Reader, and it's all because I should have never been doing that type of work to begin with.
Yeah, those are the.
I was a bad employee.
I did
work.
I did work in a. I was a desktop support specialist in DC when I was doing
What
stand-up.
does that even mean?
It means I'm a secretary.
Okay.
And then my friend Jen was a like specific assistant to one of the employees. And then she moved, got like a promotion or something, and they asked me if I wanted her position. It was a little more money. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take it.
More money, yeah.
So I take the position, and I'm like taking notes and calls and all this stuff for this woman, Sharon, who's great. She was really good at her job. And
everybody knows you're a comic, right?
Everyone knows I'm doing stand-up.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm nice and I'm polite to everybody. So we are in meetings. I'm like taking notes. I don't know how to take notes. I don't know what
I don't
we're.
either.
I don't know how
Even
to
to
do
this
any of it.
day. Like when somebody's like, "Hey, when we're on this call, like take some notes."
Yeah, I'm literally like
I'm not-
so much anxiety and stress because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't even
I also
understand
always
it.
think I'm gonna remember. I go,
Yeah.
well, I'll remember that.
Yeah. And at one point I go, hey, I just think that maybe I'm not good for this. And she goes, yeah, you're right. And so I was like, oh, you've been nice this whole time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I happen to just be pulling the ripcord probably a little bit before you boil over.
Right.
And so you're now simmering down. The heat has been turned off. Like,
Yeah,
the heat
yeah.
is off.
Yeah.
Heat is off.
The H is O.
H is
still.
off. Oaf. Oh, I guess it's still O. She's going on. She's like simmering down, and I'm like, and then they just kind of put me on calls again in like another office
They
in a
demoted
different
you
place.
a little bit.
I just went back to what I was
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
in a
Back
different
to-
place, which was way better. But yeah, I didn't like get fired, but that was like.
You've never been fired mid-weekend on a. You've never been like, "Hey, we're gonna let somebody else headline."
I've never.
I've heard those stories. Could you imagine?
I don't think.
I mean, I can imagine. I guess some people just don't like you. But
some people tried to. I've been demoted on a weekend. You know, when I was
you were
hosting.
featuring, and they made you a host.
I was supposed to feature at the Morty's in Indianapolis, and it was for Ari Spears. And literally the day I arrive to the club, the manager was like, he decided he's going to bring a guy. So you're going to MC, just do a longer MC spot, but we'll pay you the same money. And I was like, oh, that sucks, because my wife or girlfriend at the time is, you know, Jordan knows, like, she's coming and bring a lot of friends. They're all like going to spend New Year's Eve together. I was like, oh, so okay, that's awful. So that was kind of a demotion where I was just like, oh, this is awful. I hate this, but it didn't feel the same as like a getting fired. I think I do try pretty hard. I mean, there's someone who's gonna like call me and be like, I listened to your episode. Like, you don't remember getting fired from blah blah blah? And I'm like, oh yeah.
Well,
but for the most part, I'm just thinking of quickly in my head of all the jobs that I have done. One of them, I would have gotten fired had I not just stopped going. I would have got fired from Roadway because I just did not fit in there.
was that a gas station?
It was the trucking company.
Oh, okay.
So it was like loading and unloading 18-wheelers on a dock, and it was surreal. It literally was the most surreal thing I've ever done in my life. Nobody talked to me. These are all older dudes. No one gives a fuck about me.
Right.
And I remember my dad like wanted me. Well, it was $15 an hour, so that was massive.
Major amounts.
And this
of money.
is the summer before I started college. And so I did it for the reasons of making money, but I think my dad wanted me to do it for the reasons of like finish college, like go and see this is what you will do.
Right.
And and you're talking about like some ex-convicts or like this is a job that they're doing. And there's a guy who actually, I mean, I'm there not all the time, but you would get a call in the middle of the night and it would be like 2 a.m. and they would be like, we need you in. And you'd be going in for about 8 to 10 hours to like do shit. And so you just would go. There were times when I would just not answer the phone, which is not okay. You like have to go. You're like on call.
Yeah.
But I hated it. I hated the third shift. All of it was killing me. But I remember one guy like opened up to me and was like, he was like, yeah, finish college. He's like, don't do this. And I mean, he did it. He was doing it every day. You just see it in his face. He was like, don't do this.
Yeah.
You don't want to do this. This isn't for you.
That's like John Loggins when I was a gravedigger, and he was like, you want to know the best
Isn't
time?
that weird that Kenny Loggins wouldn't help his brother out?
He was like, you want to know the best time of my life?
I had a 3-way.
He goes, before all this, I was just out of the military. It's a 3rd-degree black belt. I had a Camaro. Should have stayed there. Should have stayed right there.
Where
and
was
like,
that?
And then he'd be like, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't trade my daughters for anything.
Yeah.
But at that time in my life, I had everything. I could do it all.
5-minute pause, and he just goes, Daniel? Yeah? I was kidding. I'd trade everyone I've ever loved to go back to that.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And then he'd be like, all right, well, let's go dig up that baby.
Shut it down.
Wait.
Shut it down. I was also going to make some death joke.
I
was
know
gonna go
you
with
were.
baby, but
Well, there were times it was really gross and sad. working there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a grave digger.
I know.
You're either doing what you just said, or you're professionally wrestling, or you're a monster truck.
Can I ask you a question before we get done with this?
I don't know why that's so satisfying.
It's wonderful.
But it's wildly satisfying.
Would you care if your nanny took a nap while your baby took a nap?
Not
What the fuck, dude?
necessarily.
What?
Good nanny's hard to find. He might not have been good.
Or she?
Or she. They might not have been a good.
Did they say?
They might have had a good mix.
Oh yeah, Sancheri.
They might not have been good mix.
But like screaming at me, "What are you doing?" I'd be like, "I'm sleeping next to the baby monitor."
Well, I think that's
so
what
when you're
yeah. I don't know what, but I mean, were there other little kids?
they were off to school, so she said every day. That's the other thing too. He or she, Sancheri said, they said, it was relief. When I got fired from the Chicago Reader,
I think they wanted
it was relief. I still hadn't figured out I was supposed to be doing this yet, but I knew I shouldn't be doing that.
You know, I wish you were like, pardon my I wish you were like, I got fired from the movie theater because that girl, she like said that I stole something. And to this day, I don't even know what I did. Like conversation keeps going, and you go, I did get fired from the Chicago Reader. There was a guy there, journalist, and he said that I had stole something, and I didn't know. And we're all like,
He had all
you
these
steal stuff?
confidential resources, and he wouldn't say who they were. And I was like,
Daniel, you are the problem. Everyone should have fired you.
we come back from the break on the YouTube, and one half of the sign is behind me.
Yeah.
And I don't acknowledge it.
John Loggins was like, I swear the body was
I've
over
told
here.
you about
And
John
Daniel's
Loggins.
like, I don't know where he said I stole a dead person.
He used to practice
You've told us about John Loggins.
MMA on me. Do you remember? Or not MMA, taekwondo.
Yeah.
Do you remember his best move?
Did he hurt you?
Yeah.
What did he do?
He'd go, let me show you this.
Don't do it to
secret."
me.
I'm gonna, but I won't do it.
All right.
He'd go, let me show you the secret to mixed martial arts. And I said, okay. He goes, grab my arm with both hands. Misdirection. He would smack me in the face and go misdirection. And I was like, that isn't. And then sometimes he'd go, come at me with your fist pointed at your hip and your open hand pointed at my forehead, and then just walk towards me like that. And then he would like do a thing, and I'd be like, who comes at you like that?
Yeah,
But I was already in a position to be thrown. I know.
You're like, am I in a play? I wish you'd have been like, you want to know the secret to taekwondo?
Mm-hmm.
Grab my wrist with both hands. Freeze. Pulls out a gun. You're like, Jesus, John.
Have a gun.
Always have a gun.
All right, Sancheri. I liked this.
I did
I'm
too.
excited
And thank
because
you for the stickers. They were great.
currently, if you're in the Patreon casserole,
Potato.
you know that we're doing love languages right now, I think. But when we get done with that, somewhere around 2020, I can't wait for people to send us in their how I got fired stories.
Yeah, I would love some how I got fired.
I love them.
I'm gonna think long and hard, and I'll bring it back up on a pagey.
What? How you got fired?
I've probably been fired.
But obviously never dramatically. Just like, hey, Rory, we think it's time to move on, and you were probably like, yeah. That's why it isn't.
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. I think I would remember that. I really don't know that I've been fired.
when Tim fired me from the Reader, I was pretty upset.
Yeah.
But I also knew that Gary Yonker
Yep.
had told me
I
for
know.
2 weeks. He's
I
like,
know.
hey, dude, just so you know, you might start trying to get in earlier.
I
And I was
know.
like, why? And he's like, I don't know. Tim came by. I wondered if you were here yet. Usually.
Wait, were you late?
Everything.
Oh, you were bad.
Yeah. I would hit my sales goals, but in the final 3 days to do it.
Yeah.
And remember, Don would call me a clown.
Yeah.
We can't right now. I knew as soon as I told you, but it was contextual. Rory, stop. You've already had a long day.
I can't.
We can't do this. Bet you never thought you'd see me again. Stop. Stop. And so Gary told me, he's like, I think they're
Nothing better than who's a fucking clown now, and then when it comes to you.
if you're listening out of order, you need to go back about, God, I don't even know, 6 weeks?
Oh God.
8 weeks, whatever. So he told me that I think they're building a case against you, and I still didn't listen. I just kept strolling in and leaving early.
Yeah.
It's because I was self-destructing because
How did Tim do it?
but he was pretty nervous.
Oh, he's a young guy.
Yeah, younger. And,
Older guys
and
don't
really
give a
nice.
shit.
He was a nice guy, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, "We're gonna have to lay you off. I'm sorry, it's not about you. There is
Even though
cutbacks.
it is definitely about
This
you.
was crazy. 100% about me.
Yeah.
But also, their lie was the truth because the owners who owned the Reader did not believe. This was like mid 2000s. Did not believe in the internet. Like, didn't believe that it was a threat to their newspaper because when the Reader opened, the Reader used to be like a phone book thick, like the LA Weekly, the Stranger, whatever. They used to be so, people remember, massive.
Yeah.
And it was just, they were just getting killed.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand why. And we would have I remember one time Tim Sullivan and I were like, well, every business we talk to wants to know about what we're doing, providing online and how much we're online. They're like, that doesn't matter. We're the Reader. We're the number one alternative weekly in the country. And so when they were saying like, it's just going to be cutbacks, like, yeah, within like a year or two, half the staff would have been laid off. Who knows what it even is now? It got sold. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, he tried to be very nice. And people were like, in order of the seniority, you aren't the person who should get laid off. And I was like, yeah, I should be mad. And I was upset. But deep down, I knew like, yeah, but they have kids and they want to do this job. I don't.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, Sancheri. Thanks for sending this in. And glad that things are turning out for you. I hope everybody checks out at Capra_CO. Rory, we wish you well. Sincerely, your pen clowns, Daniel Van Kirk.
Rory Scovel. And we're back.
I like that.
Folks, it's been a long journey.
Whoa.
It's been a long journey. But this is next week. I'm 99.9% sure that tomorrow I will have a brand new website.
At this point, it's sweet.
Doesn't it feel like we really were on a journey?
Yeah, you threatened a lot of friends to like do it for you.
I say all that because
was it a pen pal who helped you out?
It was, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow,
but,
I wish them well.
Yeah, his name's Garrett, and he's putting the finishing touches on there.
RoryScovel.com.
We've added dates to my tour, and there's all the dates are on there as of tomorrow, and all the ticket links and everything. So if
As
there's
of right
one
now,
thing,
is it all an hour, or are you improving some of them?
it's gonna be an hour.
It's all your hour.
I'm
not that
probably
you won't
gonna
have
shoot
fun and
I'll
live
have
some
fun.
stuff in the moment. Of course.
Yeah. But it'll be all towards trying to shoot a special. So get on there, take a look, and do me a favor. If you are going to come to any of the shows on that tour, you would be doing me the greatest solid in very pen pal fashion. Let other people know. Like, ticket sales are a weird game now post-COVID. It's a weird game. It was already kind of a weird game as two guys who aren't we're not household names, so we don't
Not
just
yet.
sell tickets the moment we announce a thing. Some cities we do, some we don't.
Sure.
So if you were going to come to a show and you think you know some people that might like this very silly R-rated show that has more sex jokes than you'd probably predict, let them know and join me on the road. If you're in LA, Elysian Theater every Monday.
Yeah. The Lyric Comedy Hour
Every Wednesday.
every Wednesday at the Lyric Hyperion Theater.
Yep.
Also, I'm starting a monthly show.
Oh.
It'll move around, but it'll happen once a month. That's in Houston, Texas. It's called the Would You Rather Comedy Show.
Oh.
Every comic, in addition to their set, gets a random Would You Rather question.
Oh.
The idea being for me that I'm just going to constantly be talking about new shit on stage
Yeah.
and seeing what comes of that.
Yeah.
So, but it's also really fun. And I think throughout the show, we will probably even ask at the appropriate times, ask a couple audience members. And if I think you answered correctly, maybe you get a free drink.
Ooh.
But it's going to be like Fridays
Would you
and
rather
Saturdays.
that has wrong answers.
Well, in our own opinion.
Right.
Like if I handed you a would you rather, I mean, obviously you already do the improv
Give
stuff.
me one
and
right
we
now.
can do that too. Oh, I don't. I'll have to. Let me get a good one. Let me give you.
All right.
I don't want to like.
Even
think
if
of a
you have to
crappy one.
just interject in this letter, just do it.
Okay. But you can.
Oh, Jesus. Who?
10 new minutes on that. Where'd that come from? Oh, you almost looked it. We're back to that.
And I caught it.
That stuff's the secret group HTX probably.com
Yep.
and lyrichyperion.com. Okay. This is you reading it, right?
Dear gentlemen, friends, guys. That's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
In
GFGs?
GFGs.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, friend, guys.
Mm-hmm.
GFGs. We're a couple GFGs.
Right. Could be gentlemen, friends, girls.
Hashtag GFGs. Gentlemen, friend, guys. Gentlemen, friend, gals.
Mm-hmm.
But gentlemen. Always gentlemen.
Sure.
In 1992, my grandfather was flying his personal Cessna airplane to visit his son/my uncle in New Orleans. He never arrived, and no evidence of any kind has ever been found to explain his disappearance. I mean,
Is this the case? We'll keep going.
Sergeant.
It's starting to become cats.
It will be better than the movie. After drinks with my uncles and grandmother on his side of my family, we've joked about potential theories from time to time, which include that he faked his own death to escape to Cuba for a life with a 20-something local woman. He was murdered by a cartel because he was running drugs in his plane, or he died by suicide after making cryptic comments about what he'd do if his prostate cancer returned. Occam's razor and I, however, point to the obvious cause. Grandpa was a shitty pilot. He had previously crashed another plane in the Florida Everglades and also landed one on a highway. One time, he forgot his luggage on the runway while flying up to visit us in Chicago for Christmas. Oh, and this is my favorite part. And police found gas cans full of airplane fuel in his car at the airport after he went missing.
Dude, he went up on E?
Went up on E. I tell you this not because it's traumatic. It's been 30 years. I share it because it's a crazy, one-of-a-kind story that makes me love my family more because it's ours. As a paler, I've heard lots from you guys, but is there one story or rumor or legend in your family that you think is especially cool or interesting or wild? That's all I got. Keep it between the ditches, fellas. Nick. That's a good letter.
Yeah.
It's just written really well.
I
It's got a
agree.
good little...
A little mythology to it, a little
It's got a
whodunit.
good little metronome. to
Yeah.
it, kinda. What? How insane is that? Also, while I was telling that whole story, did
Yeah.
you picture Johnny Depp from Blow?
I did. Well,
Because I
yeah.
definitely did.
And you know what's funny is every the documentary, it's always the same person in the movie too. But like every fictionalized show that's also about that, like Narcos, and there's at least one or two. They have this guy. He shows up. The Blow guy shows up in all of them because at one point he's working for the Colombians, and then I think he works for Medellin.
Yeah.
Or I guess which is the Colombians. But then the Cali cartel, and then he ends up working for the Sinaloas.
Yeah.
I think he works for the Tijuana crew.
George, right?
I think it is George. Yeah.
George, what's
It always seems like it's the same guy. The cartel one scared me the most.
Yeah.
Cartel's they're like things are going wild down there right now with the cartel.
Where? In Colombia?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they El Chapo's son got arrested and was going to be extradited to the U.S.
Yeah.
I believe. Guys, I'm directionally correct.
Is El Chapo still in prison?
Yes.
Okay.
The cartel told, I imagine, forgive me, guys, directionally I'm right. The police in Sinaloa or whatever, if you take him, if that plane takes off to go to the United States, we will just start killing everybody. We're just going to kill families. We're going to kill kids. We're going to kill everyone you're related to. And so they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what? this is fine. You can have him back.
Yeah.
And I think on some level, there's parts of Mexico where they've gone, we are a narco state.
This is in Mexico?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We are a narco state.
Yeah.
And so the cartels that's who runs things down here.
Man.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do? Because the inverse is we just, because Medellin, Escobar.
Yeah.
That's what he started doing.
Right.
He started blowing everything up.
Yeah.
Only there was enough to be like, no, we're not doing this. The CIA was like, hey, man, that's not part of our deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going nuts. Now, look, somebody's going to go, actually, and I welcome your actually. Just do it from a point of understanding that I'm not reading a book. I'm kind of,
Yeah.
but I
and
do
we
know.
never, and we don't read books. We've read one book.
One.
The Bible.
What do you think happened to his grandpa? You think the easiest
Jesus
answer is the most
in the Bible? Or I think
Hey,
he crashed.
That joke. Hey, guys. Jesus never had a grandpa.
Who was Jesus' grandpa? I
Okay.
mean, who?
You never had one.
He didn't have one.
Jesus never got a grandpa. Then I just thought of another bit. Okay. Everybody says
that's better than you telling us the bet. Just telling us you thought of one.
Well, people feel bad for me for growing up without a dad, but Adam did it.
Adam and Eve.
Yeah. No father figure in his life.
Yeah.
None. And then he gets 2 kids. Of course, one of them kills the other one. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything about how to raise a young man.
I mean, you could get even,
What?
I mean, you've got Adam and Eve, these 2 people, like the entire lineage of humanity, if you believe that those were the 2 people,
right,
is based in incest.
Right.
Like,
right.
What are we doing?
Well, and then it
What's going
resets.
on?
Doesn't it also just reset with incest with Noah?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's just
There's so much incest.
right.
Is that? There's something there.
I agree.
There's something there.
I agree.
This is the kind of police work that we do.
Uh-huh.
Sarge.
Would you rather?
Yes.
Would you rather
I am already saying yes.
get $5 million and spend every weekend in jail for 2 years, or get $100 million and spend 1 full year in jail? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How many days is it? I get out on the weekdays,
Yes, but you got to go back every weekend.
and I get how much?
$5 million.
But I get 100 million.
But you
for a
got to do
year?
that for 2 years, or you can just do 1 year straight and you get $100 million.
I do 1 year.
You would?
Oh shit!
I would too.
I do 1 year.
You'd 1 year straight.
That's 100 million.
Okay.
Like, here's the deal: 5 million. Let's not bullshit. Is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
But if you want to live in any city in America, and you want to live in a somewhat decent house,
Okay.
at least in Los Angeles, and from what I know of Denver, Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably going to pay $1 million or more for that decent house. And I'm not talking about any land. I'm not even talking about a modern home.
But have you seen 25th Hour?
No.
Okay.
Why? You just
I
wanna
just don't know
gamble
that
it?
you're thinking about the, like, I'm about to say goodbye to my daughter for a year.
100 million. We'll buy time when we get out.
Okay. All right. You think the easiest answer is the most likely one?
I think that grandfather crashed.
But don't you think they would have found him because he couldn't have gotten very far if he didn't have fuel?
I don't think he went up on E. I think he probably
Right.
needed the fuel.
But don't they track a flight?
I don't assume that he crashed because of the fuel. It just sounds like he was a shitty pilot. Which also, why would
Just
he
a little
get to
forgetful.
fly a plane?
Once you got your license, it's your fucking...
Yeah, but there's
Like,
got to
who-
be something.
Yeah, do you have to re-up for your
Some
license?
kind of
you
checks
have to,
and
right?
balances.
You have to
yes,
re-up.
you have to.
You have to.
You have to.
Do we know it for a fact, either one of us personally?
No.
No, not at all.
And I will not look it up.
I mean, if you have to do it for your driver's license, You
Yeah,
have
but
to do it for your
You know,
pilot.
even at our age, though, in California, you and I can just mail in our old one or like mail in a thing that's like, yeah, we need to get the new one.
Yeah.
And they'll send you the new one.
Did you get your real ID yet?
No.
I did. I got my real ID. The like wilder the story, the more fun, right?
Yeah.
He's down in Cuba, doing his own thing, living a different life.
I would love that.
I've never.
God, my tummy.
What did you have today?
I didn't eat yet. So I think it's just growly kind of.
Are you for real?
Yeah. We're shooting. I had guys. Also, I should actually point this out.
I
if
was
you are
wondering
watching,
if you were going to.
If you're watching, I have on makeup in my mustache and in my sideburns and on my face.
Yes.
Specifically to look younger. So like, I'm grayer than what you're seeing, but it's all covered up for the show. So just in case anyone's watching me, like,
We're just turning it on.
he looks different.
Yeah, yeah.
H is O with this dude.
Yeah.
Just know that
On.
it's all
Yeah. Yeah, you got
it's all false.
Is this called a quaff? You got a good quaff going?
I think so. There's so much. Well, actually, there's less hairspray in my hair than you would maybe think. I actually went to touch it thinking it was going to be almost like a helmet, but it's actually only like right there. I think it's a coif.
I think it's a quaff too.
Yeah.
Any stories from your family? What about you read this letter? What am I asking you?
I don't know of like any like legendary tale. My family is so good at telling stories that they all remember, but I don't ever.
We had Gary the goat.
Yeah.
It was a time at the cabin. I think it was Memorial Day weekend, early 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
and a goat just showed up at our cabin. And,
Really?
Yep. Hung out with us. After we got done grilling on the Weber, he would jump up and stand on the Weber. I think he liked the heat.
Gary the goat.
He hated my aunt and uncle's little Bichons. They were annoying dogs, and I love dogs, but they were annoying.
Yeah.
And he loved my cousin Billy, and he just hung around the whole weekend. At one point, he walked into the cabin. People started yelling, "Gary's in the cabin!" During prayer, during family prayer, Gary walked into the cabin.
But
He was
the
just kind of
goat-
like looking around. And then...
the goat loved your cousin Billy. That's almost too
I didn't
perfect.
even think that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so perfect.
Yeah, he did love him. And things didn't end well for Gary. He wasn't with us for much longer. But it's a big deal in our family that time we had Gary the goat. What? I don't want to say.
He just wandered in
just wandered in.
and just became a part of your life.
For the whole weekend, Gary was around. I have no idea why he latched onto our family. We loved him.
Yeah.
And then, do I have to say the ending? Do you think
Yeah, you do.
the next time we went up to the cabin, Gary was in the ditch. He had been hit.
By a car.
At least.
At least a car.
What do you think?
Wow. I believe you. You're
Yeah.
a professional gravedigger, so I'm not going to get involved in autopsies. That's your...
Made me so sad. But yeah, there was the Christmas where everybody spilled spaghetti.
I'm sorry. Are these real life occurrences, or are you just reading different Judy Blume titles?
That was good. I was wondering. I was like, get us home, get us home, get us home, get us home. Like I saw the pitch, and I was like, make contact, make good contact, and you did. I'm not even I hope that doesn't sound anything other than lovely.
No, but it
Okay.
sounds like Judy Blume titles.
The Christmas everyone.
The
spilled
Christmas
spaghetti.
everybody spelled spaghetti. Like that's a children's book.
It really happened. Ben did it first. It just slid. I don't know if it was the dish soap or something with the noodles. It slid right off his plate.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Oh my God, Ben!" And then when someone turned around, their spaghetti fell off.
Wait, it all happened. This was a
Boom,
triggering
boom,
moment.
boom, boom. Like in a matter of minutes, 5 to 6 people's spaghetti fell onto the floor. We have pictures of us cleaning it up. There's spaghetti everywhere.
That's insane.
It was
That's
wild.
at the cabin?
If you just tilted a little, it was went. No, this was at Kanagani's house, Christmas Eve.
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably like 20 years ago.
Christmas, everyone spilled spaghetti.
If I called, which I won't,
Simon and Schuster.
and Connie Doherty right now and said, "Connie, the Christmas everybody spilled spaghetti," she'd be like, "Oh my gosh," and then she would tell you the exact same story as me.
Yeah.
By the third or fourth one, we're dying laughing. You couldn't believe the fifth.
Yeah.
And the sixth, people are peeing themselves.
This is what would make me so happy. We call her right now. She goes, "Oh my God, She goes, Daniel, I can't believe that. Remember, that was right after you had stolen all that stuff from the theater.
Did you get caught for that?
And I remember you got fired. You were so upset. You said you lied and said you didn't do anything wrong.
I wish I could remember the girl's name who fired me. I bet she's
I
still
want to
around.
find them. I want to know if they even remember. You know what I mean? This is such a great moment, and this is such a great moment about perspective, because this is something you remember because you were fired. But if you were to find these two people, they might be like, I barely remember working at that movie theater.
Yeah.
They don't even, and they might be good people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I wonder if he even remember me.
Yeah.
Like, remember, I'm sure he remembers owning it.
God, I want to get, this might be a good practice case before we really dive into Petaluma.
Oh, God, I thought you were going to say Jack Phillips. And
I'm
terrified. Too. I'm terrified that he's hanging with Gary. I don't know that I want to know the answer.
Hanging with Gary. Everything you're doing right now that's a multicam pitch.
Hanging
You're
with
pitching
Gary.
Judy Blume books. You're doing multicam. Hanging with Gary.
The thing is,
the prequel to Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
You have to promise when you remember how you got fired and you remember a crazy, epic tale of either mystery or madcap laughter from your family, you have to tell them on a page.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the spaghetti. There's also like little stories, like the time that after the flea market, we stopped into this place and a guy was like selling stuff at his house. I don't remember why we were there. No, there was no noise being made.
Yeah.
He just kept yelling, "Stop that hammering!" There was no hammering.
Yeah.
My uncle will still say that to me randomly. We all know, little tip of the cap. Remember exactly what that means.
Yeah.
Stop that hammering. We get a whole bunch of I think my family enjoys a good character, and then we go down the rabbit hole to see how far this person can take us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're nutty like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, you let a goat live with you for a few days, and I think it says a lot.
it was the best. God, Gary
And
was
also,
great.
we'll always wonder, how did Billy develop that bond with the goat? What was done? What was said?
He would hold out his hand, and then the goat would go like that, and they would just push on each other.
God, that's adorable.
Billy's a pastor in Green Bay. And if you go back to, I think, my first appearance on the Crab Feast, you can hear this entire story in detail, a bunch of other crazy stuff that happened that weekend.
I love that.
Yep. You read this.
All right, well, let me get it out.
Okay, well.
Well,
I hear Mama calling.
Nick, that's the dinner bell, and we got to get in for the night.
Mama's a calling.
Mamas are calling. But, yeah, sorry about your grandpa.
Or
But
not.
You guys
He
are
doesn't even
also,
seem-
you guys are taking it real well.
Yeah.
You guys are handling it real nice.
Yeah. You ever been in a Cessna real quick? Sorry, I meant to ask you that.
I think I have.
I have not.
Oh, I have.
There's a lot of crop dusters, little
Yeah,
planes around where I live, but I've never been in a tiny little plane.
Yeah, it's scary.
You look like an island hopper.
You're sure you're going to die, and you're sure that that's how you're going to die.
Really?
Yeah. You're just
People
sure
say there's cognitive dissonance when you're in like a 747 and all that stuff. It
Yeah.
kind of feels like your own thing.
Yeah.
You get in those and you are like,
you're there the whole
there's
time.
this much between me and death. I am in the air.
Yep.
There's no denying I am in the air,
You
and I
feel
don't
the
know
wind.
we are meant to be here.
You feel the wind.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, Nick. We appreciate this letter. It's really great. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel.
And Daniel Van Kirk. When one of them is doing the other person's job, I want to call him Chissa.
I hate that.
That does sound
Wow.
like a very.
I knew she
It
would.
sounds like
hate
a
it.
really.
That is-
That's a really rednecky.
Hey,
Those-
Chissa.
Rednecky.
Word.
Hey,
name.
Chissa.
Chissa.
no.
Chissa, get back in here.
Chissa.
Chissa.
It's too rednecky.
I know.
It
She hates it so
crosses a
much, she
line.
does not want this joke to extend onto the mics, and we won't.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's going to.
This
No,
might
no,
be
I
the
wouldn't do this. You
only
hate it.
time I support Lissa.